That is my opinion of the New England Patriots coaching staff. So they lose 30-17 in a game they weren't competitive in. That's not a good sign, considering they play the Chargers and the Bills.
Oh, they play the Bills next week.
I know. They play the Bills, Chargers, Bills.
So, are the Bills going to put up 50, 60?
Look,
higher?
I mean, all the rumors were that if the Patriots were not competitive in the last 4 games, Gerard Mayo was getting fired.
They were not competitive at all today.
They were not competitive today. Which means they now need to be competitive against Buffalo.
Good luck.
Well, I'm sorry, they do, in order to save Gerard Mayo's job.
They just put up 45 against the Lions.
Look, Mayo was terrible today. I mean, there was a spot that was clearly a bad spot. Now, I don't know if it's going to be overturned or not, because those challenges are always tricky. But to not even look at it, to just tell them to rush to the line and then run a back-to-back run play?
He just stared at the field.
I know AVP is calling the plays, but you're the head coach. You can be like, hey, we're running a sneak on one of these, okay?
Right. That's his call to make.
Yes. I mean...
he should step in.
And he doesn't. But... I mean, does Gerard not know that you can't keep challenges from week to week, that they don't carry over? I mean, because he acts like they carry over.
I don't know.
I mean, remember the incomplete pass he didn't challenge?
Last week, right.
I mean, this is a weekly thing now with him, where he just refuses to challenge plays. It's been a constant thing. And even the one that he challenged, the spot, remember how long it took him to challenge that?
Yeah. It was so bad that on the broadcast, you could see Jonathan Kraft talking to Robert, saying something to the extent of the play calling is bad.
I think he said the play calling is ass.
Something like that.
I believe that was what his lip reading
That's
is.
what people think, yeah.
And it was. He was referencing a time when they were running to the outside inexplicably twice in a row. They just got stuffed on an outside run. Then they called the exact same play. This is something that AVP keeps doing. He keeps calling back-to-back plays that are the identical play.
I can tell you the cadence of their play calling in this game. They threw on first down, they ran on second down, they ran on third down, and then if they got going again, they throw again. They did that the whole game.
Yeah.
The whole game.
They were very predictable.
Yes.
I don't even think they ran a play action in this game. I can't think of a single one they ran. And they ran the ball well.
There was also 2 bonehead things that happened in this game. Yeah. The first was early, where a Cardinal fumbled. The ball rolled into the end zone, and the Cardinal rolled on the ball, the offensive lineman, and that they scored.
I don't know why the Patriots didn't try to kick the ball out of bounds, because it's a touchback if you just knock the ball out of bounds, but nobody... I mean, they barely hustled, so I don't know.
May also has an interception against him that, again, wasn't his fault.
Yep. He has 6 games with an interception in a row, and the previous 2 games, at least, those interceptions are not on him. I'm sorry, they're
this
not.
one was 100% on Booney.
So, I don't know. I just get annoyed when people post, oh, he's got so many picks. Do you watch the games?
Or you just look at the number.
Or you just look at the number, because not all picks are created equal.
Yeah.
If a guy is running a wrong route, or it hits him in the hands, and he bobbles it. I mean, the one with Henry was worse last week, because he bobbled it on his entire body repeatedly.
Yeah.
This was at least a bobble repeatedly. And that was not a missed throw, by the way. He threw it exactly where you should throw it, because the safety was playing robber coverage. He was coming up to rob the route.
Yep.
That's what a robber safety does. And Drake May recognized this.
And threw it low.
So he threw it, well, he didn't even throw it low. He threw it
behind
left.
Yeah.
He threw left.
Right.
Because as the receiver, you're supposed to see that, okay, safety's coming down, going into the robber zone, I'm going to stop. Because this is a zone. I'm going to stop, I'm going to slow, basically, well, maybe you don't stop, but you slow down. And then the ball will hit you. Instead, he runs full speed, so the ball hits him not even that far behind him. Drake May still hit him basically right where he was.
I think this also comes down to whoever the wide receiver coach should get fired this season as well.
It's horrendous.
Yeah.
But anyway, he hits him like basically here, which I'm sorry, an NFL receiver should catch.
Right.
And he literally throws it in the air right to a Cardinal. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I just... What are you doing? And, you know, there was a play earlier where Polk was supposed to run to the corner. He very clearly was. It was a fade route to the corner. I could tell based on where Drake May was. It looked like a throwaway, but no, it was just a fade throw.
Yeah,
And
the camera angle wasn't great after the play, but you could clearly see that somebody was staring down Polk on that play because the look
Somebody on
on
the
his
sideline.
somebody was looking at him.
and he was doing his what'd I do?
Yeah, clearly something went wrong there.
Which means you didn't run the fade route that you're supposed to run.
Right. It's clearly something went wrong.
I don't understand why they continue to put Jalen Polk on the field.
They're desperate to make him work.
And I'm sorry, but he is a terrible receiver.
They are in like desperation.
Like, it's not
with him.
just bad.
It's
He
worse than
he
bad.
actually makes the team worse, and it takes a lot to be that bad that you're not a net neutral. He's actually a net negative,
a net loss, really.
even without getting targets,
He
which
hurts
is
the team.
very hard to do. But
Yeah.
he somehow does it.
I know.
Layden Robinson had a terrible hold. There were 2 plays in a row where Vidarian Lowe literally just didn't move with the snap.
He just went like this.
I mean,
He literally just did this.
I mean, he did the thing where he's in his stance, the ball is snapped, then he looks up. Oh, the play is on.
Yeah, he did it like.
Then he got up, and by then the defensive end is just running right by him, and then he tries to like touch his shoulder.
He did it
What
like
is that gonna do?
twice in a row. It was
Yeah, twice in a row.
Infuriating.
Like he zoned out.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean,
That's what it looked like.
dude, you got like ADHD or something? Like, can you not focus?
Maybe.
I mean, I got it, so I know, but like,
Maybe.
you're an NFL player, man. Like, you got to be ready to go with the snap,
Yeah.
not zoning out in your own little world.
Yeah.
He cannot be on this team next year.
It's very clear the entire line needs to redo.
Basically, everybody except Owenwu, because you already paid him, you have no choice. But the rest of them have got to go. I mean, Andrews, if you can bring him back, bring him back. But you still need to get a center to replace him, eventually.
No, they need one regardless.
Yeah, because they didn't have a backup. That worked out real smart, Elliot Wolf. Why would you need a backup center?
Gee, I don't know.
I don't know.
You used to have a swing guy, you let him go.
Yeah, I know. And then, basically all the receivers have got to go. I mean, Bourne is okay, but he's too old. You have Douglas, maybe, but I'm not even sure about that, honestly. You have basically Hunter Henry's the only receiving target you have that is any consistently good.
Hooper's been good this season.
Hooper's been okay, but I mean, you gonna pay another old tight end?
Yeah.
I doubt
It was a 1-year contract. He'll be gone, I would suspect. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna pay him. So you're looking at a team that basically needs an entire revamped offensive line.
Again.
Needs an entire revamped receiving corps. Like, you don't just need, like, you gotta sign T. Higgins, but you also need to sign, like, 4 more receivers on top of that need to at least be 2s and 3s.
Now, granted, they have the most cap in the NFL this offseason.
Yeah, so you gotta spend it.
They have to.
There is no excuse. You have...
They had no excuse last year either.
Look, Drake May was not only good in this game, he was elite in this game.
Again.
He was amazing. And this is with him having a first half that was terrible because he wasn't even given a chance.
Right.
Really, watch the first half of this game. What happened was the first drive was that horrendous hold. And it was a hold. I don't know what Layden Robinson's doing.
Well, before that, it was that horrible snap that he recovered from.
Right. First was a horrible snap. Then the Layden Robinson hold.
Then another horrible snap.
Then it was the Verdarian Lowe double sack thing.
Then there was the other next
which was
horrible.
instant.
Then there was the snap to the
And
ground.
then the third drive was the snap to the ground.
Right. The first snap was abysmal.
Basically, Drake May didn't even have a chance, and he still put up 200 yards. Basically, in half a game when he was more or less allowed to play because they basically had no drives in the first half because the line just didn't do anything.
Yeah, the defense. The defense.
This bad. Covington's got to go.
Gonzalez is elite. There's no question about it. No question whatsoever. He's elite.
He had a good game.
Barmore's good once he can get back to shape.
Peppers is good.
Outside of that, Marcus Jones is a good player.
Yep.
Outside of that, though, I don't know.
They ain't got nothing. They ran the ball well today. I don't know why you didn't capitalize on it with play actions. Still no design quarterback runs. They won't even run quarterback sneaks. I don't
They
understand.
had the opportunity in this game to take advantage of that, and they did not.
I mean, we're week, what, is this week?
15.
15,
This is 15.
14?
This is 15, yeah.
And we still don't have quarterback runs in the playbook.
Which is bizarre to me when you have a quarterback that can do them.
They have not only a quarterback that can do them, they have arguably the best rushing quarterback efficient-wise in the NFL.
Yeah, he's as good as Michael Vick was when he was a young player.
He is incredibly good at reading when the pocket breaks down and when he can scramble.
Right, he's very
He's
good.
incredibly good at it. So design runs for him.
They should, but they don't.
RPOs won't do any of them. I think they called, they didn't call any of this game.
No.
They called a few last week. But AVP is he's really slow to adjust to anything.
He is very slow.
Really weird. I don't want him fired because he's done well with Drake May, but maybe make him the quarterback coach and not
demote him, basically.
Not offensive play caller, because the play calling is bad.
Yeah.
And the defensive coordinator, Covington, he's got to be gone.
If anyone gets fired, it's got to be him.
And honestly, if I'm Mayo, I'm getting ready to pack my bags because you're not going to be competitive in these last 3 games.
No.
And I just, based on what Jonathan Kraft was saying in that box today, I would not be surprised to see him fired. He clearly wants him fired.
Yeah, it's obvious.
It's obvious. And you need to do a real interview process, because this whole thing where you just handed Mayo the coaching job was, I'm sorry, ridiculous.
I agree completely.
He was not ready.
No.
And it's obvious. Just from not being able to read situations and challenge plays. I mean, other things he does is...
He's not a leader.
No.
And it's very obvious. He doesn't stand up for his players.
There was a terrible roughing call in this game that took away an interception, which, by the way, you needed that interception.
Right.
That would have changed the course of the game. And
they could have won almost.
He doesn't even call the official over to be like, hey, can you explain that to me? He doesn't even do that.
If that was an interception, and if they scored on that drive, they would have been within, 2 points?
They would have been within a score.
A field goal, basically.
I think they would have been within one.
Actually, if they had the field goal, they would have won.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what the score was, but it would have been within one score.
I think if they had that and they didn't miss the field goal, they would have won the game. If they scored on that drive.
Look at what good coaches do when an obvious bad call is made. They scream. They demand an explanation. Yeah. They shame the official.
They stomped on the field in anger.
Obviously, you don't want to overdo it, but they motivate their team. And Mayo just doesn't. And I don't understand, it wasn't a roughing the passer penalty. It wasn't even close to one. It was the worst one I've ever seen called. And Mayo's completely oblivious and unaware, and he points to his head oh, you got to be smarter than that.
No.
What do you want your player to do?
He's
jumping up to block the ball and fell into the quarterback who's out of the pocket scrambling. That's not roughing.
I don't know. Whatever.
Just completely unaware of the situation. And it's a constant thing with Mayo.
So next weekend, since we're running out of time here, they will play Buffalo, I believe, at home. It's supposed to be...
They're going to lose.
The long-range forecast in New England has it being only in the teens for the high temperature. So it's going to be extremely cold weather, which, whatever. But I don't give them a rat's ass to win.
Nope.
Against Buffalo.
I mean, considering the defense gave up 224 yards
I think
passing.
Buffalo could easily put a 50-bird or a 60-bird on us. That one.
Murray.
I easily think that Buffalo's going to blow us out of the water in this game.
They gave up 110 rushing yards to James Conner alone.
So he's good, but he's not that great.
I mean, he's a really good running back, but I mean, you got to do better than that. You can't give up 110 yards to...
That means James Cook is going to probably have 300 rushing yards on us next weekend.
I mean, this was a Cardinals team that was struggling, guys. This is not good.
Yeah.
This was a game that was... I didn't think you were going to win, but you should have been competitive. And the fact that you're not competitive means, I'm sorry, firing.
It was a very winnable game, in my opinion.
And this was after a bye.
Right.
After a bye.
And this is something else that's changed over the last 5 or 6 years. They come off the bye and they're terrible.
There's no excuse.
Yeah.
To be this uncompetitive against a team that is, frankly, mediocre.
Yeah, they're 6-7. Now they're 7-7.
Not saying the Cardinals are terrible. They're way better than the Patriots, but they are an average NFL team.
Right.
You should be able to be competitive against an average NFL team after a bye.
Well,
no excuse.
They're 3-11. We get to play Buffalo next week.
We basically get the equivalent of the number 1 pick, by the way, because the 2 teams in front of us are going to take quarterbacks. So, I mean, we're going to get Travis Hunter.
Or Tet McMillan.
Or Tet McMillan, depending on who you want.
And depending on who trades up and what happens.
So,
I mean, would the Giants and whoever else, who's up there with the Giants, the other team?
Raiders.
The Raiders. Do you think those teams would not pick quarterbacks? I certainly don't.
No, they're going to pick a quarterback, for sure. They're both taking quarterbacks.
They both need them.
Yep, they're both taking quarterbacks.
So unless some team leapfrogs over us and makes
not going to happen.
Some crazy trade,
we're losing out.
We'll wind up getting a good player.
Anyway, we'll end here. Just as disappointing. Really disappointed in the coaching staff.
Very.
Happy with May. Happy with Gonzalez.
That's about it.
I mean, they're starting to use Marcus Jones on offense. That's good.
That's about it, though.
But the rest of the team, other than Barmore, and Barmore's not been good, but that's not his fault.
He's had health issues.
And Peppers is coming back from off-field issues. That's not his fault.
Right.
For being rusty.
Right.
But the rest of the team just has no excuse.
Yeah.
And the rest of this coaching staff has no excuse.
The team is bottom of the barrel, and this game was.
Yeah, they're laughingstock. They're the Chicago Bears. I mean, it's what they are now.
Oh, the Bears are worse. Actually, the Bears have more wins.
No, the Bears have more wins. They're better. But I mean, as far as that kind of organization, we're approaching that level. We're approaching Jets level of just laughingstock.
Oh yeah, we are. The Jets won today. We are laughingstock.
So, anyway, this is Ryzen.
And Liz.
Thanks for watching. Take care.